Okay.
It's literally proper grammar. If you say not only, then later you would have to say but also is like the proper sentence.
They're paired together.
Yeah. So if you just were to say, not only did I win the game, I also had the game-winning bucket or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also had 40 points. It's like you have to say. It's like you need to say not only did I do this, but
because that makes sense. Like just like logically,
right?
Because then it's like, what else? Not only this, but like as a listener of the story, you're like, okay, then what else is going on?
Right. And you could fill that gap. You say not only this, blah 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 blah,
but I also
you need to say that.
It needs to be in there. Yeah. That makes sense.
You could like do a comma, or you could clear your throat and just skip to the next idea if you wanted to, but it's not like good form.
Or by starting off a story or a sentence by saying first. You have to say and then next or second. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
First,
right.
I did this.
You need some
There
continuity.
needs to be a and then, like, or like the like second. Like I need to have the continuity in the story here.
Totally.
Continuity in the narrative, like just like logically for me to be able to follow it. Or it could just be like a whole bunch of random words put together. It doesn't make sense in your mind as a sentence. You know?
Right.
It's like no one would talk like that.
Totally. That's exactly. And then so there's like an art to that too, or that's what Russell Brand was showing me, is that he had like he would say like first I did blah 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 blah, not to mention with the blah blah blah, but secondly I like his sentences were so like beautifully well knotted things.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy's a really great speaker,
dude.
And
yes. Sorry.
I was saying Jordan Peterson's the same kind of way,
bro.
Yeah,
that man's on another fucking dimension, bro. He's crazy.
Yeah. So put them together on a podcast and
Bars
just flying at you.
There's bars coming out.
Drake featuring Kendrick.
Yeah, it's just
featuring
fire.
Drake.
Yeah, I don't know. I love how my mental process got me there, because I've just been listening to podcasts, and I've just like been following the White Rabbit in regards to which podcasts to be listening to at a certain time, and like the guests as well. Because there's like Joe Rogan, Chris Williamson, Jordan Peterson has his own podcast, Russell Brand has his own podcasts, and then there's everyone. You know what I'm saying? There's so many to listen to, so many to choose from, and then like sometimes you listen to. I've listened to Russell Brand do his own podcast. I've also listened to Russell Brand on Joe. I listened to Jordan Peterson on Joe, and then I could like jump to Jordan Peterson and listen to Joe on Jordan, or like, you know, it's just like just different hosts for the show.
Yeah,
it's virtually the same exact thing every single time. You know?
Yes.
Like they're just going in and like exploring ideas and information and trying to sort out what is the truth and like the truest truth, and like get a firmer grasp on this thing that we're dealing with here. And it's like that's what they're doing across all the podcasts. But it was just cool to watch, because it started with Joe I listened to Jordan Peterson and him fucking 2017, whenever they came out, 2018.
the first one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's been a long story. It's a saga.
Yeah, that started everything.
Well, yeah, that started all of it. You know, listening to Joe more consistently, for figuring out who Jordan Peterson was. But it was just cool to listen to them, or like that's where it started. And then I've been listening to Joe for a long time. And then recently, Chris Williamson came on his podcast. Listen to that one. Chris Williamson's like, man, I love the one that you and Naval had done on your show. Like that, I listen to that still to this day. I was like, oh, okay, that's tight. Mental note, check. Okay, now I'm listening to that one. And he like because Chris Williamson dropped one with that same guy like the next day, like after I heard that on Joe. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this one next. And like I've been like, I'm gonna listen to this one next and this one next. It's kind of based on who's ever kind of mentioned in it, or like whatever comes to mind, more or less.
Yeah.
Because Naval had some gems too. Naval and Chris Williamson on Modern Wisdom.
Really?
Bars. Yeah, just bars. It's definitely, I don't know, he tries to make it super practical and super compact. But he's got some cool philosophies in there for sure. But then I was listening to that one, and then I don't even know how it came to mind, but then Jordan Peterson came to mind, listening to the Modern Wisdoms with him, all of them, it's fucking bars. And I was like, man, I love the Jordan and Joe's. I love when Jordan's on this Chris Williamson pod. I was like, why don't I just listen to more Jordan Peterson? He has a podcast too. Why don't I just like start listening to his podcast? I was like, okay, well, if you were going to listen to his podcast, who would be some guests that you would want him to be talking to, and who would you, like, what episode would you watch? I was like, I know I'd watch a Joe one. I think there was a Joe one like a long time ago.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Right?
Yeah, I think I can't remember how it happened, but yes.
It was like, that was like probably 2018, 2019, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay, I got it confused.
Sure.
He does one with Theo Vaughn where it's like,
oh yeah,
they do like 2 hours, and then they're like, all right, well, if you want to listen to the rest of this podcast, it's going to be on Theo Vaughn's. And then it was just like Theo Vaughn posted like the part 2 of their podcast on his podcast.
That's tight.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was able to just listen to 4 hours of them hanging out, because I just bloop, bloop, bloop. And it was awesome.
Right.
But I think that it was different with Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson did Joe Rogan, but then he went back and did Jordan Peterson's podcast. And I think I listened to that one too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, I listened to that. But I also listened, I don't know why, but Russell Brand popped into mind too, because I've heard Russell Brand on Joe's podcast as well. and he has his
And
own.
you just fucked with those?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, cool. I can't remember. I used to find him annoying,
Run it back.
but now I don't find him annoying like that anymore.
He's definitely changed himself, his identity over the last 10 years. Because I was first introduced, I think the first time, I'm pretty sure the first information I received about who this person is relative to society is that he was dating Katy Perry. I'm pretty sure at one point. And that was many a moon ago.
Right.
And then I watched him in the movie Get Him to the Greek with Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
And I think Diddy's in that movie too, now that I think about
Whoa.
it. Yeah. Crazy. But I watched that movie, and then
If we ever get Russell
all I
Brand on
ever
the
had.
pod, let's ask him about that.
Yeah, right.
Sorry,
I'm
go-
sure the information's out there. Someone's probably asked him.
Yeah, you're right. Probably.
Maybe. But I'm down to have him on the pod. But ever since, like, that was kind of what I had predetermined about, like, who this is in the society, celebrity figure, actor kind of person, whatever. But then I got reintroduced to him through Joe, and, like, yeah, that was probably many years later. I'm not sure how long, what his time period was between when he made that movie, Get Him to the Greek, and the Joe Rogan episode. Because I think he's been on probably 3 or 4, I want to say, Joe Rogan's. The date to the first one, because I think by the first one he was on Joe, he was talking about, like, his changed life and his like 12-step program he went on, and like he's a different person now, more or less.
Yeah.
And ever
okay,
since then, I was
do
like, I fuck
remember
with
that.
this guy.
Yeah, I think I do remember that. I'm not saying with certainty that I don't like that episode. I just remember he's just not on my radar as someone that I like S tier when I'm
If you're
getting.
gonna listen to Jordan Peterson, who would you listen to?
Right, that
What
wouldn't have hit
episode
me
guest
like
would
that.
you look for?
Dude, okay, but like I'm tripping, dog. This
Let's
whole time
go.
we're talking, I was like, I'm just sit back and fall. So many things. One of them is that I did that because I had the same thought this past like week or two, where it's like Jordan Peterson has a whole podcast. He's like the
1.1,
Yeah.
1.1 first round draft pick of the change your life like teacher tree. I want to be developed from his tree. I want to share that root system.
Yeah, it's like you could do Bill Belichick, or you could be like Bill Parcells because he was influenced by Bill Belichick. Where on the tree? Who's your like truest? Like I want to learn from that person.
Yeah, Andy Reid,
Right.
fucking
But Andy Reid,
Kyle Shanahan, or whatever.
totally, yeah.
All
It's
that
like
shit.
it's a big web of
Yeah.
like, but they kind of go backwards in time, like to when
Dan Campbell,
Yeah, but he's a
follow that man.
yeah, right. So you could just stop at Dan Campbell and be like, I like if he learned from fucking Landry, Tom Landry, right? It's
Okay.
like ultimately the web came down, and he's a product of Tom Landry, who was an innovator at the time. So he's genuinely the first of that tree. It's like I don't want to play in his program. Landry's cool and all that. It's like Dan Campbell, his spin on it,
Yes.
like his version of that artwork.
Yes.
It's like I fuck with that more than I fuck with that.
The original. Yeah.
Yeah, it could get like that.
Yeah.
That's every story, every song. We're
Uh-huh.
all doing
We're
that.
all just
for-
building on what's been already built.
and then you're like, I like the way they did that thing.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. That's fucking tight, right?
Mhm.
But Jordan Peterson, he's like the biggest head on my Mount Rushmore.
He's on 1.1
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, first round draft pick.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. So I was like, why don't I just listen to his podcast?
Yep, I'm right there with you, dog. So then I did the same thing you
Russell
did.
Brand came to mind.
I'm gonna go in to go find one that I want to watch because it's like a lot of those people I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Super intellectual conversations.
very, very above my pay grade. I ain't trying to listen. I ain't trying to put my mental on overdrive like that.
I tried to listen to the Dreams and Nightmares
I'm
one.
sure some of them are great, and some of them because he's Jordan Peterson being he is amazing at making things like tangible and somewhat simple. You know, it's like straightforward.
Yeah,
Not as much fluff on it. He uses big words sometimes, but he's able to bring it down to like Pinocchio. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, totally. You're right. Well put.
But yeah, the professor episodes, I'm sure he like turns that off a little bit and is like,
yeah,
let's hoop. Like, let's run at full speed intellectually, conversationally with our dialogues, our vocabularies.
to a T, man. And like it's cool. I appreciate it. But they were talking about the like biological nature of the brain, how the neurons work and fire,
Mhm.
the different parts of the brain that
Sounds
light
crazy.
up when different things are happening.
Yeah.
For instance, one of the things they're talking about is the rubber hand experiment, but they're talking about it
Rubber
in,
hand?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like if I were to put my hand under the table and you put a rubber band right here, you could
a rubber
like-
hand?
A rubber hand, sorry, yeah. You could
A little more developed than that.
Yeah.
It needs to look like your hand.
yeah, definitely. But ultimately not. They end up talking about people were doing it with other stuff.
Rubber bands.
Rubber bands to make them dance. No,
Yo.
but this is what happens. So then they like touch your face and stuff like that. They do like a boop boop boop. They're like beep beep boop boop boop. They're like
Treat you like an infant.
they're hacking your computer more or less
Okay.
of your.
They're like planned precision points of contact, or is it just like a random stimulation? Stimulation.
I think they just have to like. I think they touch the rubber hand and maybe touch you a couple times. It's like pat pat wave wave or something
I'll
like
try
that.
to like catch you, or like to try to sync up your like synapses between feeling and that thing?
Yes, maybe, I don't know. They didn't talk about that part.
Okay.
But they just said it's like a pat pat wave wave or something like that. It's like a boom 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 little acronym they have for it. And then the person thinks that the rubber hand is their hand.
Yeah.
Like straight up. So your thought process of like maybe that's what they're trying to do, I would think so. They'll take like a hammer and smash the hand, and then these people are like, you know, like they can maybe even feel that pain.
Yeah.
Or like the idea of
pain.
presenting threat to it would make you want to like, for whatever. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but they think that thing's their hand.
Yes.
And so then they like went into talking about seizures and how, like, Jordan Peterson says you lose your sense of left. It's not like you just can't. You use the left side of your body. It's like sometimes you don't understand left as a thing. So if like they'll have these people make a clock, and then like fill in the numbers on a clock, like 1 to 12, going in a circle.
Like draw it on paper.
Yeah. Or they'll have one like outlined, and they gotta like finish it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll have put all of the numbers on the right side of the clock, and then they think that that's like normal. They're like done. And it's like they've like jumbled them together, and it's not like an obvious clock. And it's just like that's one of the like most stark examples of like what the fuck is going on there. Like these people are like, that's a clock. I'm not trying to make fun of it.
We don't know what a clock is.
Yeah, but it's like
post-stroke brains.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Lose
mean,
their sense of left.
maybe the worst cases, right? Because sometimes they lose the left side of their body, like they can't really move their arm anymore. Like it happened to my grandma. So it was like hard for her to walk with the left side. Like she had to use a walker.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. So like that'll happen to people. But then so anyways, backing out of scope is just like hearing them talk about all of that. It's like interesting, right? But they're like going off, dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot on my head top.
Yeah, high level conversation.
So I'm in that boat of thinking right there with you.
Yeah.
And then the first one, most recent, I just open up to try again after Dreams and Nightmares, right?
Okay.
And it's Tim Tebow.
Nice.
And I had just been thinking about, I just need to put another Tim Tebow book on my bedstand, because I used to just go like lay down in bed, open the Tim Tebow book, read, and then pass out because I got tired. But now I'm out there trying to remember this funny term for it, just doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Just scrolling away, dog. For one, I let a whole 3 or 4 hours fly by one night out of nowhere. Not sure what happened. Like I was kind of over that. I feel like I like dopamine detoxed a little bit, just like not being on my phone, not playing video games. Overland, just kind of like let myself be bored a couple times. And so it'd been a while since I was just like, what's YouTube got? Damn. Like 4 hours go by, bro. From 1 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah,
I hate myself for
that's
it.
a term that we have added to our life. You know what I'm saying?
Doom scrolling.
Yeah.
My friend had a funnier name for it. It was so funny when he said it. It was
Really?
good. Okay, I'll see if I can remember by the end of it.
I heard. But yeah, so the Timothy Tebow, Jordan Peterson. I love Jordan Peterson. Timothy Tebow, I haven't read any of his books, but that's crazy that you were thinking about him like independently and then like
They collided. Like that's what what I'm trying to allude to.
Yeah.
Like so many things in my last 2 or 3 weeks collided with everything you said right when you took us through the intro. It was tripping me out. So same experience, but Tim Tebow got me. He's great, man. Like his parents are missionaries. So I have this book on my shelf because he's like a Christian athlete, right? My parents are like, my dad would tell me like, just keep books on your bookshelf because you'll never know when you just want to like pull one off and read it. It's like to have these books around you is good. And then sure enough, I was just in that space, needed something. I don't know. You ever been like, I'll do anything. It's like, what do I need? Like even like not just, sometimes you don't think straight to God. Sometimes just like life, like, you're just like, what do I got to do here? I'll clean my room. Like that's been me a couple times. But my room was clean. So I'm like, what do I got to do here? And I just like pulled the Tim Tebow book off my bookshelf, just laid down in bed and started reading it.
Yeah.
It's like changing I felt like a difference in my chemistry, felt my life trajectory like climb a little bit as I was reading the book. I'm like, this is working. This is fucking working for me.
Nice.
And so I ended up reading like, I think 2 or 3 of his books, like back to back, just had all of them. And they're good, bro. So parents were missionaries. And
bananas.
They're like in, foreign countries or whatever. They are just helping local poor communities in Africa, more or less. And they're raising 4 kids.
They're along there with them?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they got their whole family like in a small remote village where they're like building a well, stuff like that. And they didn't have a lot of money, he said, from time to time. He said, one time I literally remember they only had enough money to like buy dinner one more time, or they needed to pay for something else. They were driving home and someone asked them for money, and they only had enough money to pay for dinner that night, and they didn't know what they were going to do the next day. And then the dad's just like, "No, just give it to him. Like, just give it to him. Give him everything we have. Go to zero." And then they get home, and 2 different families came over and said, "I don't know really why, but something just kind of moved me to maybe offer you guys some dinner. So we made you like our family recipe tonight." 2 different families came and brought them their like family's recipe from the village that night.
Wow.
And Tim Tebow is like saying this because he's like, that's when I knew. That's when these are the stories that told me this is why they do this. This is why the Bible's so important. And his parents used to make him memorize scripture before every game. And specifically, it was scripture about being humble, because he would be popping off when he was a kid, and then want to tell everybody about his stats, want to relive the highlights with everybody.
Yeah.
So they made him memorize scripture about being humble, and he can just recite it off the top of his head. He's like, yeah, I'd have to learn it to be able to play the game, so I learned a lot of it. And then,
oh, that's awesome. That's crazy.
Crazy parenting, right? First of all.
Crazy.
Can you imagine?
They doubled up on the dinner, bro. They got a double dinner delivered. Uber Eats.
He describes that as a turning point when he was a kid.
That's a big crossroads.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like literally feeding your family. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about
Oh,
here?
yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's a tough decision to make, to be in the driver's seat of that family car.
That family. Driver of that family.
Yeah, true. They were on a different mode, though, too.
That's a different mode, bro.
He was talking about how they would be preaching Jesus in these towns, and sometimes the towns wouldn't be super receptive. And ultimately, one of the towns was like, yeah, you got to stop doing that, or we're just going to kill you.
Oh.
And he was like, then kill me. Like,
hard.
That's what it's going to have to take for me to not come here to do what I came here to do. I'm on a mission. This is a mission trip. I'm a missionary.
Yeah.
And then he's preaching forgiveness at this church, and then this guy walks in like late, and then at the end of the service, the guy approaches Tim's dad and says, I would ask you, can I have your forgiveness? And then
different random guy?
The same guy that came in late.
Heard.
And then Tim's dad is telling about how Jesus gave him forgiveness, and that, of course, he's forgiven for what he's done if he asks for Jesus to forgive him, to especially profess him as your savior. And this dude's like crying, and then professes Jesus with him and asks for forgiveness. And then ultimately he's like, yeah, I came in here to kill you, and I'm sorry. My heart's been moved. You're right to do this. I know everything you're talking about. Like, it hit me in the heart, and like, I want to live my life for Jesus, and I'm sorry. And Tim Tebow's over there. Little Tim Tebow's like, yo.
How old is he?
This had to be middle school.
Damn, so he's like teenage, early teens?
Yeah.
13, 14?
Just preaching the gospel, bro.
That's crazy.
So
his dad's hard for that, bro. Holy shit.
He goes off talking about how his dad's the most courageous man he's ever met, he's ever known. Nobody has. It's because he has faith. Yeah.
No one's got bigger faith than that guy.
No.
Yo. Yeah, it's either give this, I guess, a homeless person or some random person the money that they're asking you for, but you need that money to feed your family. It's like 99% of people are picking to keep it. For sure.
I think you got to think about maybe he spent all morning preaching to like 200 people, feeling the Holy Spirit, being on that full fountain cry mode.
Yeah.
Then leaves and gets to the family with his car, and then it's like immediate test. I just told all those people for so long that we should just have this kind of faith. It's like, I want to have that kind of faith. And then like, that's God. Then you're on a real different kind of positive feedback loop.
That's a different kind of a creative ability, say manifestability.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how to manifest something is very elusive as an idea to hold, and it's not very tangible.
Yeah.
It's a difficult process. We all have a different mental thing attached to when we say manifest. It's like, how do you do that? But I did it the other night. I could tell you like straight up. One of our people at work literally came up to me and was like, let's try to manifest a table for our friend Tyler, because he needs one for it all to be balanced, for him to get his and for it to be relatively good. But right now it's like relatively good, but Tyler's not, he's behind. And if he can get one more walk in, then like
it'll be in harmony.
It'll be in harmony.
Even.
Yeah, close enough at least.
Yeah.
And I felt that she was legitimately like, help me manifest this. And I'm like, part of me is like the fact that the fact I feel like a legitimate seriousness in your ask makes me want to like not let you down, because to operate on that level, and I don't know, I'm not a fucking law of attraction, fucking Doctor Strange. It's not like that, bro. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to do good. We're trying to restore harmony.
Yeah.
We need to.
Yeah. Upward aiming manifestation request.
Yes. Let's try to harness whatever energy we have and contribute it to the overall harmony. Can we get us back to status quo? I'm like, I think I do that. I try to do that every day, right?
Yeah.
And so one thing that I learned in Lent was just to accept Jesus when I pray. Because I had mentioned on the podcast that I feel like I'm always saying please and thank you. Maybe I just said that to my friends. But it was like one thing I'm meditating on. It's like a lot of prayers are please and thank you. Please may I have this? Thank you for this. And those are good. Actually, I think that's probably how we should pray. But I was trying to figure out if there's anything else I can say in a prayer that's not that, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
Deeper.
Right?
More profound.
Yeah,
more encompassing.
Yeah, my dad talks about don't pray like a Christmas list. Like your Christmas list and a prayer are two different things. Uh-huh. And then I'd like hold that in my head trying to figure out what that means over time. And so one thing I learned is just to like accept it when I'm praying. It's like I accept your grace. Like I accept your love. I'm tuning me to you. Because your love is there for me.
Yeah, I need to act as if I have it right now, and it'll come to me.
Right.
Act like with that faith, you know?
How do you... Yeah.
Blind. I don't have it, but I'm going to act like I do. Or I'll try to manifest and create the energy and frequency patterns that are necessary for me to like, woo, 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 at the same frequency that thing's woo, 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 wooing on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, dog. Yeah. And I think there's a very thin line between... manifest it now. I'm in there. I'm there. I'm rich. I'm in the Ferrari. It's like there's a thin line between that and like accepting it. Like truly saying, I receive that. Yeah. Like I accept that. Thank you for this gift. Yeah. To act like legitimately grateful, like as if you just received it. It's like, oh, I have that. Oh my God, thank you. And that subtle difference on that buttery line, I think for me has been like what I've learned about manifesting something, because I accepted it. Because it's also in the show The Chosen, there's a scene depicted where the Roman soldier comes in and begs for healing for his son and basically tells Jesus, you wouldn't want to go there. My house isn't made up. It's also like in this place of town where you're not going to be received well. And I don't think Jewish people go into Roman houses, something like that. It's really not customary. And I don't think I don't want you to do it. I don't think you want to do it. But you don't have to. You could just say the word. Like you could just say the word and your word would be enough to heal him all the way in my home. If you would just heal him, please, with your words. And Jesus just says, it is done. He doesn't say abracadabra. That was one thing that I like realized watching it that kind of tripped me out. He said, it is done.
Done.
Like, yo. And then he's like, your faith is amazing. Your faith is some of the starkest faith I've seen in a long time. Like not these. What I took away from that was Jesus said, not a lot of people have realized that I could do that. They walk around me all day. They haven't realized it's like that. But you know right now, that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm trying to receive that, right? So then to just be able to just say, like, I accept it. It is done. We're already in that timeline. There's no timeline shift happening. It's just, it is.
Yeah. There you go.
And then the walk-in came in. And it could have just said, D&D roll 19, Tyler gets the table.
Yeah, right? You need to roll a 19 or higher.
Yeah.
Both of y'all.
Yeah, right. Or you could even just say, like, generic restaurant, you know what I'm saying, without manifesting it all. Maybe we were just silly people praying in a corner for something that was already going to happen. But like, maybe it's random. Maybe, right? But it felt like a first down. Let's go. Yeah, it really felt like that.
Did y'all do like anything, or like, I mean, as far as like take a solemn moment together, or say some words, or just like both just like put your energy and frequency on that at the same time?
Not together.
Okay.
Like there was.
I was just like a running thing.
Yeah, it was just a conversation we had at one point in time where it's like everything's good, but Tyler's not good, and she was just like telling me like what's going on in her narrative, you know. And then she's like, "So use your powers to help us get Tyler a table." And I was like, "Okay, that's kind of that doesn't normally go on my queue of things in this place, you know."
Yeah, that's a very strange.
The thoughts I would keep to myself,
but that is something that I would add to my queue of things to do. You know what I'm saying?
I did.
It's like when someone lets me borrow a pen, it's like it's added into my queue to return that pen.
Right, totally. Good call.
This is important.
Yeah. So it got in there, and then
Yeah, what'd you do? She didn't do anything with you?
No, she just went back to what she was doing.
Okay, so it was in big time passing.
Yeah, it was like maybe 30-second conversation. And then like I said, prayed for it, then accepted it, then realized it was already done, and then stopped thinking about it.
Boom.
And then I just had energy on like we're out of harmony, like just pushing, like almost as if I was just pushing a sled a little bit, just like giving extra energy towards the good thing happening, like staying optimistic for it, not letting myself slacken my performance. Like I needed to keep my frequency high is what I felt like if I wanted to help manifest this thing. Like I can't start slipping or like not doing a good job. It's like I got to really be crushing everything I'm doing so I can help elevate this into reality. And then just kept it on like not like feeling like please let it happen, but like this is happening, like, and Tyler's gonna get his table,
Yeah.
and I just held on to it in my reality of things that was gonna happen, and then ultimately did forget, just like got lost in my own sauce doing what I gotta do.
Yeah, trying to maintain your own frequency.
And then a table just walks in, the people, some of the hosts had left, the other hosts were like not at the host stand doing whatever they do before they leave. This table just walks in, walks straight into main dining, takes their own table. It had like birthday stuff on it. It wasn't anybody's birthday.
Lovely.
Moved the stuff around, and Tyler has a table. That just like walked in, sat themselves.
That's like 221, right?
I think at the end of the night they were at 234.
Okay.
Like 2 nights ago, maybe.
Okay.
And it was sick. I was like, yo,
dope.
we fucking
We did it.
Yeah.
Yes, bro. And like part of something you said brought an idea to mind for me, and it was like the you had that in your running conscious mind of like trying to make this thing manifest, like put my energy towards that thing being, you know what I'm saying? Like accept that being, try to create that being. And then also there was like I think something that might be inherently attached to doing that is that you like trying to manifest something or bring something out of the ether, you know what I'm saying? Or try to make the table appear or make the whatever the situation is,
Right.
You know, to do that, you felt like an inherent need within yourself to your own, like that was the thing that was not here yet. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to bring that to here and like change the structure of reality, more or less. So you're trying to do that. And then like inherently you felt within yourself, the only way that you could deserve to do that is if your own vibration was like high enough to like push that thing also up with it or meet yourself wherever it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even if, I think it even makes sense like logically, because if you don't do that or if your performance starts slipping in work, like literally great example, you got like you have tables are mad at you, you're forgetting things, like this thing's overcooked. This person, whatever, you know, there's a million things that could happen that make your table more complicated.
Yeah.
Fucking dairy allergy, gluten-free, vegan, fucking all types of shit.
Yeah.
And then, restaurant just has its own thing going on. There's so many different moving pieces of the machine or the engine that is a restaurant, different size cogs that have to like all be flowing perfectly. The busboy or like the bar back has to be getting the ice and getting the garnishes for the drinks. And like, that's like a whole different animal or dungeon is the drinks and the bar. And then you have your own dungeons of like the wine room you gotta know, and you gotta know like all the food and stuff. There's a whole lot of shit going on. So like if you were to let all those stressors like bring down your overall feeling of your own vibration, watching yourself work, and feeling like you're in the weeds, that shit sucks.
Yeah.
You're probably not feeling very confident in your manifestability if you're weeded. You're probably not even thinking about Tyler at this point.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, don't drown.
Totally.
Don't drown. I need 3 iced teas. I need this, and this, and that within the next now.
Yep. It got to that point a couple times. It always does when it's busy, you know?
Yeah, that's what it is.
You ride the lightning or the red line. You're right on it. Like, oh, don't engine blow. Come on.
Go.
Yeah. So yes, forgetting about it was, I think, part of it. I got my story going on,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it reminded me of basketball too. Not when I said it, but when you said it, because you have to win your matchup. That's like how a lot of great games are going to go down is possession to possession. Things will happen. Like you get a big rebound or we get a steal,
A big stop.
right?
I hit a big bucket.
And
Big buckets, bitch.
yeah, someone who hasn't shot great comes down transition 3. It's like, oh, I wasn't calculating that into probability statistic for us winning this game.
Mhm.
That's awesome that happened. But so there's a lot of things going on like it feels like magically, like I can't tell you what's going to happen moment to moment in the magic of the moment, but if you're winning your matchup and like you're covering up playing good defense the whole possession on defense, or you're moving the whole time on offense, if you're doing the right thing while you're in the moment, you're way more like, and if all 5 of you are doing that, it's almost impossible for you guys, and it would have to be some really dramatic, outrageous stuff for you to not win those moments. And so when I take that into my own world, it's like I have to win my moment. That's the only way the team's going to have a true shot or our best shot is if I win my moments.
Yeah, every role player has to play their role and win their their game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Win their game, and their game is broken into moments. It's like I got to win this matchup, and this matchup is broken into a whole bunch of like second by second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It literally gets down to that deep.
Like I have to deny the ball. I have to make sure I'm playing help side if the ball's away. I have to not get beat, so that means my positioning has to be right. I can't be on the far left if this guy's been going left all game because I'm opening that up to him. And then if he's been shooting really well, I have to play a half step closer than I normally would, but not too close that I get beat on the dribble easily.
Yeah,
it's like these microcosms of good defense, doing the best or like the right thing,
the true thing.
Yeah.
The true defense, like trying to stop the offense.
And that requires all my focus. It's like I can't be thinking about manifest the win, rain dance. Like it takes that's how it felt in the moment too when I'm weeded and I'm going crazy. It's like I have to make sure my section's good. I have to make my money tonight. I have to be a good teammate to these people around me. I have to make sure, like, ultimately what is being good at this, I gotta win my matchup or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's like inherently something right about that, you know what I'm saying? Because or it at least meant psychologically for me, like, because then you feel as if your manifestability is higher, and like the probability that the universe would grant you the thing that you are trying to create that is not here, it would give you a little bit more slack, or it would like be a little bit more apt to give you that, or allow that to happen for you, if your own energy and frequency and vibration are like humming. You know
yeah. Totally.
Because the opposite feels way true. You know what I'm saying? It's like you definitely don't feel as if your manifestability is going to be very high if you're like just getting weeded.
Yeah.
You
It's
know
a good, I'd love to unpack that idea. So we can never earn God's grace, right?
No.
We just have to accept it.
Not through works.
Nah. So.
The greatest sacrifice we can make is like all we can make.
Right. So on the theory, though, that we would have to be performing well to deserve the thing, I'm like, God doesn't work like that. Maybe he has like mechanics in a computer that work like that, but his true character and grace, like that you touch out here, works a little differently. Could be like that, like a separation. But I think that there's something about having a pure energy. I think that is right.
Yes.
Like a true pure energy. That's why when you break down and give your heart to Jesus, that's like a really true pure energy. Or anytime someone like has that moment where they kind of like break down, or they let the facade down, or they let the stress get to them, or there's also like pure joy moments. Like if you have, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No. I think I was just thinking about adding what you're saying, and it's like maybe it doesn't depend on like your like the external stressors, or like the external things that are happening in the metaphor of like your restaurant or like your tables. Like you could just get weeded and get fucked up, and like that would bring your vibration down, and then you probably wouldn't think of your manifestability the same, unless you knew that like the thing that's making you weeded, like it isn't like you're doing your best, you're winning your matchup.
Yeah.
External things are just happening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Totally.
But like how true have you been? Like, and then like no matter what's going on around you, you could just have the faith to say like, nah, I believe in my manifestability. I believe in like God is leading me in this the right direction, or whatever is coming next is supposed to be coming, and like I'm manifesting that thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Regardless of whatever's happening.
That would be a more true energy too, if you're able to conceptualize that and not get beat down by the beating you're taking.
Yeah, I'm being honest about my efforts, and it's like I'm leaving no stone unturned. I'm doing this hard. I'm doing the best I possibly can with what I have in front of me, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And how true is that? And I'm like, I'm doing the best I can, and then also that encompasses like everything. You know, like how like are you like how are you treating others? Like are you treating others like you want to be treated, and like even with. Or are you like rounding out your personality the way it's like healthy for you, or like maximizing your expansion and like your different abilities to meld with reality itself? You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you know that you're on top of your shit, then like it doesn't really matter what's going on in the external.
You're right.
If you have yourself convinced.
Yeah.
But you need to have yourself convinced.
Right.
Because you ain't gonna take no bullshit from nobody.
Right. I'm with you. That's exactly it, I think. You can't expect to win every game. That's bad energy too.
Yeah.
Like you have to accept that sometimes you're learning something, or sometimes they were better, or sometimes there were things outside of your control. And that would be like this true like HD resolution visual of what's going on here.
Yeah. And
I think that the cloudiness would distort your ability to manifest something. I mean,
you could let it for sure. It'd be way easy, super easy. You have every reason to not believe, or like, you know what I'm saying, if shit's like going south, like Job, you know what I'm saying? You have every reason not to believe that God's like got your back. He's like, never.
Yeah, or Tim Tebow's dad, you know?
Yeah.
To be on your last dollar in the first place.
Last dollar, and have some guy literally give you a death threat. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's some, fuck the external. That's crazy. That's what faith is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what's up. That's just insanity.
Yeah, so I think there's something to be said for a real pure energy letting you
Yeah.
get closer to that thing, you know?
Yeah, you know, in your heart of hearts, we all know if we're. I think so. I don't know. I think we all know what we're doing here a little bit. If you like, just take the ability to try to watch the movie that's going on. We've all watched movies and listened to stories. We all know what's going on with characters.
Yeah, maybe you don't have an exact HD resolution of what's happening in your own story, you know? Like, how do I get a pure energy out of just being at work, right? That was like, we're talking about, I guess on one thing, if you're a basketball player in a basketball game, you could get pure energy by all those things I just said, right? But like in my own life, I am a part of a team at a restaurant. Situationally, it's where life's brought me to. I understand the game, restaurant, the expectations of guests, what we're doing, like the role of a server, what it's like to be a server, all those things. Like I just want to go there and do my best and create good experience and help the people around me. Because in life, that's just one of these boxes. Like I have to make money, but I have these visions and goals, and it's just like life has these things laid out. And that's one of the worlds that I have to travel to. It's part of my, like, I need it. I need the money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I got to pay my fucking bills. We have bills. It's like this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So then to deal with all of that, all I can do is go play it like it's a basketball game, more or less. Crush, and hopefully make the place better for it. Bring, hopefully, some God energy into it. And I think about that. So when I'm in the moment of being at the table and I'm doing that, it's like really aligned with what the fuck I'm trying to do as a whole person up here with all the worlds combined, you know?
Yeah, the thing that's constant across all the worlds or all the personalities that you have.
Yes.
Like all the masks we have to wear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you don't know why you're at that table, you're just like needed a job, but you don't even know why you need the job, and you're just working.
You got bills.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's it.
And you don't exactly have that figured out either. No one does, especially not when you're 18, though.
Nah, hell no.
So you might not know why you're at that table. Why are you working hard? You could.
Why is it worth it to work hard?
Right.
Yeah.
You could stumble into just having a good day, trying a little harder. No, I care about this person. I connected with them. Let me try to go the extra mile. Let me do the extra step. There's ways to stumble into it, but then you can bring it back to like just core axiom. Like I go the extra step. I don't cut corners.
Yeah.
I refill drinks when they're low, even when they don't ask. Like little shit, just little like fucking. I almost lost my own train of thought.
Yeah, it's like the little things, like even the ability to be perfect,
Right?
or to play a perfect game.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, why would you, if you just show up at the job and you just don't know why you're there, then it's going to be hard for you to have those kind of magic days every single day because you're kind of stumbling into them. But I think if you can figure out what makes a good performance or what makes you good at the job, and then hone and channel your energy and your traits and what you bring to the table into that thing, then like the spirit of the game rewards you with more magical moments.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds crazy, but I promise you it's true.
Yeah, I think it's just a connection we're trying to draw between like purity of intention and your aim. Are you truly aiming at the upward highest thing, regardless of however that may look to you in the moment externally? Like, is that what you're really on? Is that what you're really about?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I want to make things better. I want to make everything better. Even if that means like God's got to do whatever he's got to do to me momentarily to get me through or to whatever, change some of the other external stories I can't see. But I know that I'm on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Maintaining that faith. And I guess, yeah, how would you know that you're on that shit?
Yeah. You have to identify it.
Being truthful with yourself. And it's like trying to, establish a covenant? You know what I'm saying? More or less?
Yeah, with your own intention and aim.
What's the highest good that could happen? Even imperceivable to me at this moment. Like, I want that thing to happen. I want that thing to be created.
Yeah, it's a good covenant.
This is energy.
It's a great covenant.
And yeah. That goes into that translates into the game of restaurant or being a server particularly. Every role has a different game to it, but like even a bartender or a manager, they have queue of obligations and responsibilities, things that need to be done. And then you have X amount of time to accomplish all of those things. And some of them are more time sensitive. Like it's a scale between urgency, time sensitivity, and importance. You know what I'm saying? It's like some things are really important, but they're not super time sensitive or urgent at this moment. And it's like trying to shuffle that queue around, and then like you have to figure out what you assign value to that makes things important and urgent. Time sensitivity is kind of obvious. It's like due dates are happening, time's moving, but then what's important? And then that takes some upward aiming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ideally,
and awareness.
unless you're fucked up.
You got to be paying attention.
Unless you're fucked up.
Kind of smart. Like you got to recognize when there's negative interactions, bad things are happening because you mistimed things. And then if you can put together how to be good at what you do, that's gonna, when we were talking about manifestation, right? I think we're trying to have a pure energy. So I think putting good intentions with an upward aim and taking the time to become good at what you do so that you're legitimately a positive resource team member, you get into that equation and things get better for it. It's like, that is really valuable towards what is manifestation, I guess. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, in those moments, I just wanted the good, right thing to happen. I just wanted Tyler to get a table. I wanted to get closer to fairness, closer to harmony. I wanted something good to happen to someone that I thought deserved it, right? I wasn't trying to manifest a Harley Davidson in my like driveway.
Yeah.
I think that there's maybe something to be said. I don't think you can just make things appear out of thin air. And also, God's will is way stronger than...
That's the thing, too. That's the thing we're wrestling with. Like, God's will, or it's like,
yeah,
you try to create whatever you want to create, but ultimately, if you're using fucked up methods of manipulation to get there, like, you might have it in the external for the moment, but like, we all know how the movie ends. It's going to collapse. It's going to fall. It's going to crumble, and it could be devastatingly terrible for you. Probably will, if you're lucky. It'll be devastatingly terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you use whatever means necessary to try to attract or manifest whatever you're trying to manifest.
Yeah. That's not...
It's fucked up. Because there's something outside that's creating the harmony, I think. You know what I'm saying? Or maintaining it in response to what we're doing.
I agree with you.
Potentially. If we're doing it for fucked up or through fucked up channels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it never ends well in any movie.
Nah.
No. And it's just a reflection of life.
Yeah, if it were to get fucked up or if it were to end, like, positively for someone who's been a fucked up character the whole time, we, as an audience, we'd be like, I didn't like that movie, or I didn't like that ending. I didn't like there'd be something within us that would say, that's not right. That's not how the story goes.
Yeah.
And then some people, I don't know. I think it's not not a matter of we'd like to put that in movies because we like it. I think it's what happens in life. And if it doesn't get emulated properly in the movie, we don't like that. Because there's a certain pattern recognition that we all have in like what's going on here. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to think, can we write a movie where a bad guy just does bad things the whole time and gets away with it and make people like it? Could we do it?
Maybe.
I think it'd just be weird.
Know. Yeah.
You just watch a guy murder a bunch of people and he gets away with it and he's like laughing at the end.
Yeah, right.
It's like a scary movie.
He gets away and he gets everything he plotted out to get, and then no repercussions or no retribution.
I don't think you'd get theaters full of people standing up and clapping their
crying.
Hands.
you get no tears.
Okay, there's the difference. Maybe people would like it, maybe, but I don't think you're gonna make people cry about
Contrarian people, no.
Yeah.
Just to be anti-society or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
It's like
counterculture there, so it's called.
Like American Psycho ended and he just would like, it's like American Psycho 2 comes out next summer. He's just gonna kill more people and be more crazy. I don't think we'd all like that.
Nah, I think we try to push an envelope that direction with like making like super villain movies like Venom and shit, you know, and then also maybe giving some of our superheroes a little more of an edge, or making like the antagonist kind of a main character, or watching like Breaking Bad, like a protagonist turn to an antagonist, you know?
Yeah.
Overly get embraced by the shadow and the fucked up way of doing things. It's like a I had it and then I lost it. Snowfall. There we go.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, Snowfall. That main character does the same thing.
So yeah, we like redemption stories, complex characters. We all need it. We're all a redemption story. Like we all need to be redeemed at some time or another.
Yeah.
So we like people that fuck up and have a character arc because that's
the
all
inherent
of us.
narrative of life is a hero story, is a redemption story.
Right. Superman's a little weird because it's like he's not super relatable.
Yeah.
More idyllic, I guess. Someone you want to be like.
For sure.
But not someone you feel like. So I think you're right. There's something about in our inherent nature that wouldn't just fuck with people with a story that's untrue, and that it translates maybe to our own perception of life too. Is like we can't really like harness our full energy or our full power if we're being a shitty protagonist in our story, because we know we won't deserve the beautiful ending that we really want. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be doing your best on some level so that you can maybe in your own subconscious, I think, deserve heaven And even though that's not the paradigm that's true at all, we have to like unlearn that. I think there's part of it that is true about your
Because we're faith based.
yeah, right. That yeah, it's a good reflexive mirror for why this works. Part of it is your own chemistry is not right. Like you're not this. Have you ever not been on your shit for like 2 or 3 weeks? You can't just walk in and be like, I'm glowing.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't happen like that, bro.
You want it. You want to get there, and that's what psychopaths do. Or you know, what I'm saying, try to like feign that competence and confidence, and like garner from, or also receive it from the social status quo. You know what I'm saying? In regards to who this person is, but it's unearned. It's not true. It's not true competence that you would have to get by doing the thing, like reading the book or like doing the fucking research.
Oh, 100%. The newscasters are like that. The journalists, they get in there, and then sometimes I watch this one guy. He just like, what do you mean by that? Well, you've said a lot of things kind of divisive. Seems like maybe you're putting a roadblock between the right and the left. And he's like, what did I say? I was like, well, you use a lot of left wing, right wing language. He's like, no, I don't. Like, what are you talking about? And he just kept saying like buzzwords and couldn't like formulate a question that was true. Yeah.
Yeah, not even inquiring about any of the actual dialogue.
Yeah. And this guy's like a journalist for like Fox. It's like, that takes a level of like faking it that isn't, I don't think that person can reach their best life. You gotta like learn, when you're acting shitty, you gotta learn shitty lessons. So it's like, sometimes you're spending your whole time going left and right and not going just like forward towards life, you know? And then ultimately letting it come from and through you. I think that's like the fifth dimension of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm driving this road, but like, and God made the road, but I am the car and the road, and God's in me, and like
and driver
and the driver and the traffic. It's like hard to conceptualize all of that. But I think the closer I got over Easter was like just saying I accept it. It's like, it's done. Like, you think Jesus can't do it?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
do you really believe in what you're asking for? That's a better question than can God do it? I promise, you know? So then when you really do believe in what you're asking for, then just try to accept it. Just like, I accept this.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, it's cool. Lent was tight.
That's fucking it.
Lent opened up my pores.
Yeah. It was good. The fasting's good, you know what I'm saying?
It is.
It's just good for you. Great season. It went off.
How's life been for you since
CBC's been good.
post-Lent?
It's been fantastic. It's been great, yeah. Went to my brother's wedding in Sheesh. But yeah, it was a good time. Back on the vitamins sparingly.
Yeah.
Able to see truth. Oh, dude, yeah, that just brings me back to whenever I was going to my brother's wedding or driving to Austin to get ready for my brother's wedding. We were listening to the Jordan Peterson Genesis lectures. Bruh. Just going nuts, bro. I can't even explain it. It's just the feeling of like knowing when someone's the dialogue he was using, the energy that was coming out of his vocalization of his ideas was just so pure. And it was so just like red hot. Just you could hold it. Or like just you could feel it if you tried to hold it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, whoa, this guy's going in about this, like all of this thing that we all are doing here.
Yeah.
And he's so well read about it and so just off the top with all these, I guess it's a prepared presentation, like slide by slide, but he's still just so quick with all the ancillary research papers and research projects that have gone on that relate to like these different like chimpanzees or like babies or rats or a whole bunch of different random studies and like philosophers as well and scientists that he's able to just like pew, 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 and like turn it into foundation for his house he's building. You know what I'm saying? His word house. He's like, I'm getting my foundation is super strong, like solid, and I'm building something really crazy on top of that. I'm gonna tell you about the thing I'm building, and also like refer to why the foundation on which I'm building is so strong. And he's like just doing that constantly. And I'm building like a house about what I think the Bible is, or like the stories of Genesis, at least. It's like, yo,
that's hard.
This guy's going fucking nuts right now. Just watching him build a house, like just watching a Michael Jordan just in his hay, you know, just fucking making hay, bruh. Game 6 shit, just going stupid. It's like, yo, this guy's going crazy right now. He's dropping 80 right now, bro.
Yeah. That's why he's our 1.1.
Yep.
I love how he talks about the biblical stories. He's like, oh yeah, that's the story of Abraham, when they're just talking about their life.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just be breaking down old behavior patterns, and then he'll explain that's just like Noah, and you're like, oh, it is.
Sorry, Moses.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just weird. It's the whole life is just the Bible. Like life is a relationship with God. It's crazy to think it's anything else. I guess maybe because I'm getting older or whatever, getting more into my faith, I guess you could call it. Sounds kind of cliche, but it really is just that all the time.
Yeah.
In my own head, I was visualizing all these things that we're doing. I think we're just watering plants, like relationships or jobs or dreams or like my relationship with my daughter. It's like, I feel like we're just watering. You just, all you can do is go bring good energy to it and do your best. And then that would be like good water.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're not giving good energy and you're not doing your best. And it's like, maybe you're like, you could just see it as muddy water. You could see it as having less water to pour into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I genuinely think for the most part, if you can give good energy and do your best, the plants grow.
Yeah. If you're giving it pure water and giving it enough sunlight, it's like, that's just the equation. That's how it works, you know?
Yeah.
That's all you can do. You can't control the growth at all.
Right.
You can't control the bloom. Like, all you can control is just the every day, just trying to make sure you have enough.
And it's cool because like plants grow. Like, you know that going into it. You're expecting it, not even just expecting it. Like, it's guaranteed it's going to grow unless something wrong's going on that isn't normal. And I think that's how most relationships, jobs, things are, where it's like, it'll grow. Things will get better for you.
Yeah.
Unless there's something wrong that you got to figure out, you know?
Yes.
And so that you can like derive a lot of who and how should I be from that. Well, you're going to just water plants all the time. So you're going to need to have good energy a lot. How do you have good energy? What does it take for you to have good energy?
Mm-hmm.
And then just channeling that good energy is like half the battle, you know?
Yeah. Well, what fills your cup, you know?
Yeah.
And you're pouring out of yourself. You're pouring out of your cup into the other cups or the other plants, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
You got to fill your own cup, Doug.
Some people, like my friend Julian, I think he probably wants to drink like once a week would be nice, maybe, probably. Just like have a couple old fashions, you know? It's like how he copes with reality. Not in a weird way. We're all coping with reality.
Yeah. We're all doing something.
Yeah. And that's cool. And I think you would ask him if he didn't do that for too long, eventually maybe he would have bad energy. And it's just like even just like little things in your routine, I think if you don't do something that you know is good for you or something like, I need this, like I gotta play some basketball. I play basketball in like 3 or 4 weeks. I gotta go run around, like compete, do some stuff, like fill up my cups so I can fill up other cups. I think we naturally gravitate towards things that we like, and we naturally fill up our own cup just being a person. But I think it gets away from us because we don't always visualize ourselves as plant waterers.
Yeah. Garden tenders.
Yeah, just garden. Yeah, exactly. Because, yeah, I think all my friendships just require, like, good energy and, we got to hang out, you know what I'm saying? Like, chill, talk about stuff, blow off steam, talk about important stuff, talk about unimportant stuff. I think that just noticing how me and Julian kind of pick up where we left off, we can just hang out and, like, have good energy and be good friends. I'm like, it's, like, not hard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to bring good energy and do your best. You can't be like a shitty friend, have shitty energy, because then it's like, what are we even doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we both kind of designed ourselves to be people who perform well and have good energy. So because we're designed like that, we don't have a whole lot of negative interaction. It's just easy to be like,
yeah, we're both trying to do the same thing here.
Right.
Just go hard. Go hard and make things better. Be a good person. And I'm not trying to manipulate anybody or trying to get unearned or unearned status or I don't want anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except for a good time.
Not trying to fuck people over.
Yeah.
Totally. I think
it's good energy. Just bring that into all your but it's important to bring that into the workplace or for its own sake. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Right. We're doing that independently.
Yeah.
We hang out. It's just natural because we both have it. And I think if you're going in there, you got to have it independently. Like, I think everybody wants to have it independently. Mm-hmm. And I think that would ultimately be getting yourself to this place where you can just accept God's blessing for you because you're ultimately asking for the thing that is like the right thing. There's like maybe a spiritual war going on between good and evil. Maybe just flipping your energy towards the good thing isn't always enough to break the dam for the good thing to happen. But sometimes it is. Sometimes it is just a one equation.
Yeah.
You just need to flip your energy on like just wanting the good thing to happen, and then it's more likely to happen.
You don't know how good it is, you know, or like you don't know how powerful your thoughts and words are to a degree. We all don't.
That's so true, bro.
If you're able to put that, like vocalize it, and also just like keep it on your conscious, it's like that could swing it, but it might not. But it could swing it. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Manifestation is a weird thing to say. It's like tons of connotation on it. Mm-hmm. Is it like magic, abracadabra? So like I sit there and like, manifest this fucking bike.
Yeah, right. I think I don't know. Yeah, everyone has a different connotation of what that word means or what the action of it is. I think it's just like the thought of where the future comes from. Who can determine where the future comes from? I'm trying to determine me. I'm trying to do that. And there's like, how are you doing that? It's like that's future or fortune tellers type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Soothsayers.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Was that going on back in the day? Right? Soothsayers.
Yeah, for sure. Could be just perceptive people that have a higher hit rate based on, it's like, what are you doing? And you're trying to do what? And how are you doing that? Oh, it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah. Might be obvious sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe that could be what that is. I think
we have that power. We have that creative manifestability, whatever we want to call it. We can do it.
And what your truest self would want would be your version of heaven, be the best reality for you. So then when you want that and God wants that for you too, it's not like a far-fetched. I think if you're wanting what you actually want in good spirit, good energy, even if it's a blessing, like I think God wants that for you too. Mm-hmm. So you guys could you could help bring that to life. You could help do your part. See, God doesn't need you to do your part. But I do think that there's something about people set their intention on something and they're likely to bring it to life.
That's their will, right?
Yeah, we have that.
We have the will. That's like where your will is the ability to like move your aim, or you know what I'm saying, to move what you're focusing on and trying to manifest. Because like I think that's just what's going on here, and like you are manifesting like second by second, day by day. You know, like adds or builds on top of each other or whatever. I'm not sure how the metaphor goes, but we're all doing that. You know what I'm saying? And we have our will. Like you could choose what you're doing that towards, or you know what I'm saying, for, or whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have the self-awareness enough to understand why you're doing something. Mm-hmm. I get it. But I think self-awareness is an attainable thing.
Yes.
You can definitely figure out why, you thought about it.
Yeah. Nice, dude. Well, shit. I was going to say, funny, time to wind her down. We just jumped in. No intro. We just keep on moving. Listen to JBP. Highly recommend. I can't recommend it enough. The one with Russell Brand, that was a great podcast. But he does other stuff too. Can't recommend it enough, y'all. On everything.
Definitely. Podcasts are awesome.
His book, great.
All their stuff is great.
Yeah.
Check us out. Subscribe, like,
share, tell a friend. We love you guys. This has been, what, 78? Yeah, 78. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Just keep on pushing, man.
Let's go.
The thing that we're talking about. Like, just keep on watering this plant. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. With pure energy and intention, just keep watering your plant stock.
Yeah. And if you like this, keep listening. I think that's the thing. People like this.
Yes.
Let's grow this.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
We ain't got to be nobody else but ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Hell yeah. You
Most
do the same.
authentic expression. Be that authentic self. We love you guys. Take care. We'll see you on the next time. Peace. Bye.
Rolling through the city to the light show. Really ain't no telling where we might